Home Base, it's all about the home. Home decor, interior and exterior design, choosing paint colors, picking out rugs, organizing closets, being productive in your home office, and so much more. Let's jump right into today's episode with Southern Inspirations partner, Shepherd Organizing Solutions. Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Hill, Southern Inspirations, and joining me for another fabulous episode of Tip Tuesday is Paige Shepherd with Shepherd Organizing Solutions. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm excited about this episode, as I am every single one. But I feel like this is one that a lot of people probably struggle with, Paige, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah. So, as mentioned, y'all, if you saw our promotion before now, Paige is going to be sharing with us a room by room master to-do list of how we can tackle specific things in specific rooms to get ourselves decluttered and organized. Did I say that well?
That's perfect.
I see a couple of folks have already joined, so thank you for that. Please comment and let us know that you're watching. And speaking of watching, you can always share a watch party too. To have new audience members watching, so help us out with that too. So, Paige, anything else you want to say before we just dive right into this topic?
I don't think so. I think I'm ready to jump in.
All right, here we go.
I was actually with a friend this morning at breakfast talking about, she asked me what my Tip Tuesday topic was today. And I told her, and before I even got the whole sentence out, she was like, oh, no. That's overwhelming. She's like,
oh, really?
I was like, well, that's the whole point. Like if I needed to finish my sentence. That's the whole point, is that this approach is less stressful and less overwhelming. Because like I've said about several different productivity tips, the first step is getting it out of your head, getting that list that's bouncing around, all those ideas and things you should do and want to do and ought to do. You get it all out and get it written down or typed up, whatever you prefer. And that alone is freeing. So
yes, it really is. And we talk about this all the time, Paige. I am a list maker. I truly am. But I still have those moments where, and yesterday was one of them, I just woke up and like right off the bat, I felt like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a crazy week. I've got so much to do. Like it was overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So I have to just remind myself, go back to the list, have the master list, but then use those smaller lists. The elephant is eaten one bite at a time, or whatever that saying is. Rome wasn't built in a day. We have to kind of give ourselves some grace and permission along the way too. So I think today what you're going to share is so practical and it's so manageable, and that's what we all need. It doesn't have to feel overwhelming like your friend was like, oh no.
Exactly. I have to give myself grace in this area too. And people make jokes about, me being a machine or productive or whatever. But I'm really not. Like there are days when I wake up like that too. And I'm like, this is going to be bad. I don't know where to start. Things are pulling me in so many different directions. And we've talked about this before. It's paralyzing sometimes, especially like for today's topic. If you think about your whole house and all the things that need to be done or you want to do, it's overwhelming and no one has time to just sit down and do all of those things. Everyone's busy. So today's task is just as straightforward as it sounds. We're going to talk about making a to-do list room by room. So all you need for this task is a pen and paper or an electronic device, however you want to do it. And you can do a different piece of paper per room, or you can, depending on how big your list is, you could make quadrants on your paper, however you want to tackle it. But all you're doing with this task is observing and taking notes. I think the reason I'm stressing this is it's so important to not start in one room and you see everything that needs to be done and then you start doing it. That's not the point of this task.
Yeah, that would kind of be me. So truly, we are only making the to-do list. This is not about going through each room and doing whatever needs to be done. So that's good to know and just to put out there at the get-go. This is literally just making the list and then using some of the prior tips you've shared with us, and then some we'll talk about in the future. You'll help us go through each room, right?
Exactly. So the reason I waited until now to do this topic is because I've shared so many things through this platform and then on my blog and my social media. Since I started the business almost a year ago, I've shared so many different topics that once you get the list made, once you get the plan of attack made, if you need help with the details, obviously I can help, but you can search my blog, you can search on social media, you can search on all of Southern Inspirations platforms for different topics if you need some specific help in a certain area. So the very first thing you're going to do, the first step in this process is to scan and evaluate the room. And so I like to think of things left to right, like top to bottom, left to right, so that I don't miss anything when I do this. And let me back up. I have done this with a few of my productivity clients. I've actually walked through this process with them. And it's hard sometimes to wrap your mind around doing it this way, nice and slowly, because you walk in a room and your eyes immediately go to a problem spot. Or for some people, they just have like blocked it out, like out of sight, out of mind. So this part is really important. So I suggest that you walk in, and I know this is really literal, but this is how I think. You walk in, turn to the left, start up in the top left-hand corner, and scan the room slowly from top to bottom, noticing things that need to be done until you've made it all the way back around to where you started in the doorway. So things that you're looking for things that need your attention or things that you want to change or improve. And it might be related to decluttering and organizing, but it could be repairs or cleaning or trash that needs to be taken out, sorting, decorating, filing, renovations, whatever it is. We all have our different needs and projects that are going on. So you do that, you are making your list, and it doesn't have to be in any certain order right now. It doesn't have to be in a priority order. You're just like, well, that filing cabinet needs to be gone through. I need to donate those toys. I got cobwebs up there, need to clean the baseboards. And so when you leave that first room, say it was your guest bedroom, you've got a list of everything that needs to happen in the guest bedroom. And it can be stuff that you aren't going to get to for a few years. Maybe you want to replace the furniture. Okay, maybe you don't have funds to do that right now, but put it on there. So everything that you need or want to do in that room, it's all inclusive. And then you go into the next room and repeat those same steps until you're done. So that's why it's really important to not start trying to do the things on your list as you're going, because if you don't, you won't finish the whole to-do list. You won't finish your whole house.
Paige, that reminds me of brainstorming. So we've probably all done brainstorming. In fact, a call that I was just on this morning, it was somewhat of a brainstorming session. And I like that analogy, comparing it to this, because it's like giving ourselves permission to say no idea is a bad idea. And during a brainstorming session, it's just freedom, because even though you're not going to necessarily do all 20 things that you come up with, you're allowing yourself to think through and to truly brainstorm. And I know that organizing a room is a little bit different, but for me, I'm just kind of comparing it to that a little bit, because when I walk in the room, to your point of, hey, you may want new furniture, but you might not get new furniture like right now, tomorrow. But it's allowing ourselves like, wow, I'm a visionary. So what do I want this room to look like, in a couple of weeks or 2 years or whatever. So I like that. It's like be in that moment, so to speak, in that room, thinking about, okay, here's the things I need to do. And without the pressure of having to do them right now.
Exactly. You're kind of getting to dream a little bit too. Like,
Yeah.
we all, and I'm going to talk about this at the end, but this list is likely never going to be fully completed for
Right.
your entire home because there's always, you may get all of the organizing things done and you may get it clean top to bottom, but if you're living in your home, you're going to have to repeat those tasks, And then things break, things need to be repaired, styles change, you want to paint, you want to upgrade, you need new sheets. So whatever it is, today's tip is not just about the decluttering and the organizing. It's really like an opportunity for you to dream and kind of it's kind of like a wish list and a to-do list in each room, things
Yeah.
that you want to accomplish. So
Yeah.
like I said, for me, again, I'm pretty visual too. So I like to do each room either definitely in a separate column, but at least in a separate column, sometimes on a separate page, depends on how you want to divide it up. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is to make a game plan. And really, I probably should have said to take a deep breath and then make a game plan. Because I know it's overwhelming. And I kind of hesitated to even bring this up to do something so broad as like an entire home making the to-do list because I know it overwhelms people. But this strategy will really help you break it down room by room. And so for some people, your list might be very minimal. It might be very simple. Maybe you don't need to do anything in your laundry room except clean behind the dryer. Like there might not be anything else you need to do, but for some people, you may have a long list of things to do in your laundry room. Sometimes it could be daunting in a room, or it could be just kind of simple. And it's going to look different for every person. But this is such a good practice because making the list is often the hardest part for some people, like trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. And I think that it's fluid. You can change it. You're going to change your mind over the course of time, and that's okay. But this is a good starting place for everyone, no matter if you feel like you maybe have hoarder tendencies or you feel like you live a pretty organized, decluttered lifestyle. There's always things that we can add to our list. So, okay, the best way to make the game plan is to go through. So you're still looking room by room. You're not looking at the whole house. So let's say I'm looking at my living room list. I'm going to look at those things that I've written down and I'm going to prioritize them. And so you can prioritize by things that need to be done more immediately or things that are more important to you. Maybe it's most important for you to actually do a really deep clean of the room before you start doing renovations. Or maybe it's more important to you to get the clutter out of the way and to go through the filing cabinet or clean out the old movies and magazines that you have crammed in a cabinet in your living room. If that's most important to you, you prioritize it. So you can do that however best suits you. You can color code it. You can just simply number them. That's what I prefer. And if you want to rewrite it in the order of priority, that's fine too. So going and you do that room by room. Again, you're still not picking up anything to go and actually do the projects. You're just prioritizing it. So a lot of the work happens on the front end, and it really does make things smoother in the end. That's what I believe about events too. If everything is like well thought through and prepared on the front end, you have more room to be flexible as needed when it comes time to actually do the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you go to the hardware store because you're going to hang a picture or you're going to organize things into bins. If you've not done a game plan and you get there, you have no measurements, you don't know how much stuff you have to put in bins, you don't even know the size of your drawers and what size bins you need. Like it can kind of be a mess. So yeah, all that work on the front end is definitely helpful.
Exactly. It saves you time in the long run. That's a perfect analogy. You shouldn't go and buy things like that and waste your time buying stuff that's the wrong size or the wrong, doesn't bear enough weight to hang your picture, because you get home, you realize it, then you're going to have to go back and do it again. Or the thing just never happens because you get busy. So yeah. I think the prep on the front end is very important. Okay. And something else to consider when you're making your game plan, I think we should consider our own strengths and the things that we know we're good at, the things you can tackle quickly, the things that you have been dreading for 10 years you don't want to do this, and just kind of consider that as you're prioritizing. Now, for some people, They want to do the easiest stuff first because it gives you momentum and you can see progress. But I know some people who would rather get the part while they're already motivated, they want to get the part that they hate over with. So you know yourself, you know how you work. And if you don't, I can help you think through some of those things. But also, we should consider the strengths and the abilities, capabilities, I guess, of the other people that live in our home. This project, I mean, every family, every household is different. I say that a lot, but I really think this should be an all hands on deck thing. There are likely going to be things you put on your list that your kids can help you with, that your spouse can help, that your mom, whoever else lives in your home, there are things that they can help with. And there are probably things that they would do maybe better than you. And so you're thinking through everyone's strengths and thinking through things that matter to them. Like if you have a craft room and your husband doesn't care at all about your crafts, you don't want to ask him to go declutter your craft closet. You know, like that would be silly. So you have to be intentional in thinking through those things, because I think that the more people have buy-in, it's like a group project, you know, the more people contribute to the process, the more likely they're going to be to help maintain it. They're going to have more buy-in and they're going to feel like, well, no, I don't want that to get messy again. I helped clean it up the first time.
Yep, good point.
Okay, the third thing is to intentionally schedule time to tackle the list. Now, this is the part that people are like, I can make a list all day long, but I don't have time to do it. Well, we make time to do things that are important to us. We know that. That's true. And we can try to argue that, but really it's just an excuse. And I'm talking to myself too. You know, you make time to do the things that are important to you. Everyone is busy. Busyness looks different for each person, but everybody is busy. There are only 24 hours in a day, only 7 days a week, and we fill it with so many different things. But if these things are important to you on your list, you'll prioritize it. And so it's hard for some people to make a list and not see an immediate end in sight. But this is something, like I mentioned earlier, it could take you months. It could take you years to actually make a lot of headway on the list. And that is okay, because this is kind of like a work in progress list. You're going to be adding to it. Things are going to change as you go. It just gives you a good structure of where to start. So if you do have some flexibility in your schedule and you have a certain day of the week or time of the day that you can dedicate to getting stuff done, to your room by room to do, then do that. Calendar it, write it in your planner, put it on your phone, set a reminder, whatever it takes, so that you designate that time. And you know that on Thursday afternoons from 1:30 until 3:30, that's what you're going to do. You're going to spend time working on your projects, taking care of the things on your list, and you're going to prioritize those lists and just choose what you have time for. But the reality is a lot of us don't have that kind of flexibility, or even like that kind of regularity in our schedules, where you may not be doing the same thing every day, every week. My schedule looks different. It depends on clients' needs and depends on what all I've got going on. So I can't do that. I can't say every Thursday from 1:30 to 3:30, I'm going to do this. So if you can't dedicate a regular block of time, you can still get this done. Doesn't make it more overwhelming. You just have to be responsible and determined when you have a few extra minutes in your schedule, when something gets canceled or when you end up having a weekend with no plans, you know, instead of trying to fill it with something that is not as much of a priority. If these things on your list really matter to you, then you look at the list and you schedule it out. Okay, you know, I had a meeting this afternoon, but it got canceled. So I'm going to use this hour to get as much done on this list as I can. And so as you're planning your weeks, as you're planning your months, however you look ahead, and some people I know go day by day, minute by minute. I can help with that too. But as you're trying to get a game plan in place and thinking through what's coming up, choose some time to dedicate to the list. So you have to be intentional to tackle it. It's not, writing the list is not going to fix it. It's not going to get the projects done. That'd be really nice if it did.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, all that work that goes into the list, and then if you don't set aside some time to tackle it, then what have you done? Wasted time on the list, right?
Exactly. But I know everyone is motivated by different things, but just having that basic structure should help all personality types,
Right.
it gives you something to start with. Okay.
Absolutely.
And then the last thing is to stay on top of it. So you've put the time into making the list, you've made a game plan, and in order for it to happen, you have to be intentional about doing it. You have to stay on top of it. So even though things may change, your priorities may change, stuff happens in our lives, like the most important thing is to not just completely quit. You may go weeks, months without marking anything off the list, but as long as you come back to it at some point, then it's not for nothing. You're still utilizing all your hard work. So I suggest, and this is what I suggest to all of my productivity clients, they all have something kind of similar to this depending on their needs, but keep that list in front of you regularly. And so if that's not something that you're used to doing, I suggest maybe a weekly or a monthly check-in. And it can be as simple as writing it in your calendar on the third Thursday of every month that's what you're going to do. You're going to take time to look at your room by room to-do list. Maybe you set a reminder on your phone. Or, some people are like, oh, I have some free time, I'll look at it now, but then you won't look at it again for several months. That's why I think it's important to schedule it, which kind of seems, I don't know, probably too rigid for some people, but if you're needing a place to start, sometimes you need to be rigid so that you can
Yes, right.
So when you look at the list, when you pull out your sheets of everything that you've wanted to do in each room, it's important to celebrate your progress, like pat yourself on the back for the things you've marked off, the things you've accomplished, and then mark them off and choose which ones you're going to tackle next. And you might need to rewrite your list if that makes you feel better. Maybe you just need to reprioritize things with a different numbering system. Maybe some stuff has changed or some more things have broken and need repairs or renovations, whatever it is. Like I mentioned several times now, the likelihood of this list ever being completely finished is super slim for most people. And so that is normal. As you live your life, as you come up with things that you want to do, keep the list somewhere where you can easily jot down things or make edits. So hopefully this Tip Tuesday will give you some structure to your thoughts, to your goals, the things that you want to accomplish in your home. I know that was a whole lot, but hopefully it's
Oh my goodness, they're all such good tips though. And yeah, as you were talking, I was thinking just how much I need to do that. And the funny thing is, when we built our house, I did that. When we were getting to that point to where I knew that there were things that I wanted to do and that had to get done for certain rooms, picking out the lights and paint colors and all those things. And I actually did it room by room. I've not done that since. I still have a master list of all my to-do stuff that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But I don't have a current room by room list. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it worked so well when we were building the house. Why would I not do that right now for all these other little projects that are ongoing? Like you said, it's never going to end.
No.
And that's okay. I tell my husband that all the time because, I always he hung a rod for me yesterday because I always have something for him to do. But I tell him, I'm like, honey, as long as we're breathing, we will always have projects.
Exactly.
Something coming up,
Yeah. And when you make these lists, it helps. Obviously, everyone has, budget restraints, different things you should
Right.
spend your money on. But sometimes when I've done this before, and I keep it going pretty regularly, but if I'm like, oh, I recognize that I need curtain rods in 2 different rooms or whatever it is, the next time I go to the store or I walk by that section, I'll look and see if they're on sale, so it just helps you keep your mind fresh and focused on the things. And I think that it helps in the long run, it helps save time. But again, this process may not work for every single person. And if it doesn't, I would be happy to help.
So speaking of that, y'all, you see that I've had Paige's website ticking at the bottom, the entire broadcast. Paige is always offering such wonderful tips for Tip Tuesday. But like she mentioned at the top of the show, she also blogs a lot. She's got lots of information and tips on her website. And you can check out either virtual or in-person consultations if you're interested in either one of those. If you just need extra little help, right, Paige?
Yes.
So I wanted y'all to be sure and have the website. I'm going to take it down right now because there's a couple of other things that we want to show. Before I go into that, Paige, any last thoughts as far as our topic today?
Nope. Just be calm and take a deep breath. You can do it. I'm cheering you on.
Oh my goodness. That's some good advice. It really does not have to be overwhelming. It does not have to be that way. Well, thank you again for just wonderful tips. I know that I'm going to personally implement those like I was just saying, and I know that other folks will too. So y'all, it is the end of September. I cannot believe it. We have one day left in this month. Fall is upon us. Before we know it, Christmas will be here.
Oh, goodness.
September is also self-care month. And some of you may have seen, others of you may not, but Southern Inspirations, Shepherd Organizing Solutions, Kelly Colettis Designs, Ooh La Lather, and Karen Walker Speaks have all partnered up to offer to give away a really cool self-care package. Ooh La Lather has just some wonderful, all natural, good smelling, healthy products. So if you have not entered that giveaway, I encourage you to do that. Even if you don't need the products, or if you're a guy and you don't use these products and you think they're, for the girls, you can still register and give to, a lady in your life. So I'm going to pop it up. It's going to cover up Paige's face for just a second. I warned her ahead of time. I've got it on her side of the screen, but I'm going to pop up. This is what you will see on the Southern Inspirations Instagram account. This is the post that you need to look for. So I'm going to pop it up. And Paige, we'll still be able to hear you. I'm not going to take you out of stream.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the post, y'all. Self-care package giveaway. Actually, I think on the actual post it says it's time for ... a giveaway. But it's this picture. There's a candle. There's a bath soak. There's a bath bomb. And then I think there's some salts there. There's some lavender. I think one of them is citrus flavored. And you'll see our logos at the bottom there. So go to Instagram. The handle is Southern Inspirations 19. Find that post. It's so simple to enter. Go follow all of our pages of the partners that I just mentioned, which are listed on the post, and tag 3 of your buddies on that post, and we will put you in the drawing. We are going to draw on this Friday, October 2nd, during our 1 o'clock live Making a Difference broadcast in the Making a Difference Facebook group. And I should mention also, it ends tomorrow. Obviously, the 30th is the end of September. So we'll give you till midnight to go find that post and get your name in the hat. And then we'll draw the winner on the 2nd. So did I miss anything on that page?
Perfect.
Okay, good. So y'all go do that. Well, thank you again to everyone who is watching. We appreciate you so much. And do let us know. We ask this all the time. If there is a topic that you would like us to cover about organizing, productivity, event planning, any of that, or if you want to know places where Paige shops to get some of the wonderful products that she has shared with us, any of those things, please let us know, because we want to continue to provide content that is helpful to you guys. So we're always open to that. All righty. Whew, we've covered a lot of good stuff today. It's been a great show.
That was a good one.
Well, everybody have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see you right back here next week. Thanks, y'all. Bye.